If you have tight hips and it's negatively affecting your surfing, I guarantee I can fix it in this video right here. So if you find your pop-up is super slow, or you can't get your feet under you, or your center of gravity is too far forward, you're constantly falling, you're losing your balance, you're in pain, all that stuff can be eliminated with these simple things that I'm about to show you, which you can do at home. Let's do it. All right, the very first step is you gotta address what's causing tight hips. And almost for everyone, it's too much sitting. That's what it was for me. And with modern lifestyle, you know, we got desk jobs, we got couches, we're looking at smartphones, we're driving in traffic, all those things combine to like really tighten up your hips because you're putting all that pressure and weight on them and you're not mobilizing. They're just stiff and crushed. So for me, I used to work in an autonomous mine. So they're these giant trucks. They look like this. And they were self-driving, so it was pretty crazy. And my job was to make sure that they stayed on course and did their job. So to get to this mine, I had to drive an hour and a half there, I'd work a 12-hour day, I'd drive an hour and a half home, 15 hours of 99% sitting. There was no way around it. I couldn't get out and walk in there. We had to drive our vehicles and our equipment, literally sitting for 15 hours a day. So my hips, I destroyed them. And I looked at guys that were decades ahead in their career, farther than me, and they were just ruined. So I was desperately searching for ways to help make my body not be in pain. So what I would do on my days off, I would do all these stretches, I'd feel good, I'd go back to work, I'd hurt them again. It was back and forth. I was like barely outrunning it. And then so I didn't get permanent relief until I stopped sitting. There was no way around that. So when I quit that job and started doing this full time and continue to do the stretches I'm about to show you, 100% relief, zero pain, best I've ever felt in my whole life, and I'm 38. So that's incredible. So one important thing now to me, sitting is super traumatizing. Standing desk. This is the most valuable thing I own, seriously. I cannot sit, I even watching TV, I hate sitting and watching TV. I stand 99% of the day. And that's the biggest thing I can impress upon you. So if you have a job where you're sitting and you have to sit, you gotta find ways to stand up and move. Get a standing desk if you can. If there's any way you can find, you can do your job standing or moving more, or just take micro breaks throughout the day, you have to do it. Because if you don't stop doing the damage to your hips, you'll barely be outrunning with these stretches. So changing the lifestyle is number one, and then adding these stretches I'm about to show you is what's gonna do the real magic. All right, step one before anything is muscle release. So if you've ever tried to stretch a muscle and you felt like it just got tighter the more you stretched it, that's because you gotta do this. I heard a great analogy. If you imagine a rubber band, if you were to tie that rubber band in a knot and then stretch it, the knot just gets tighter, right? So that's kind of how it works with the muscles. So you gotta release that knot and then stretch it. So if you get that feeling when you stretch, it just makes it feel like your muscles like rock hard and it's almost like stinging, like stretching a piece of beef jerky. This will help you a ton. I'd like to see you do a test as well too. So try your regular stretch, and if you feel insanely tight like I'm talking about, just like I just described, then do this. You'll feel a noticeable difference in how loose it is and how deeper you are able to get into the stretch. And you'll be able to do it a lot safer. So if you've never done this, the first thing I recommend is a foam roller. This one has bumps on it, like little studs. You can get a smooth one. I've never tried a smooth one. I've had this one for 10 years and it does the whole body very generally. And it's really easy to use. So for the hips, it's pretty simple. So I start underneath, like kind of where you like on your sciatic. So it's like under your pelvis here. And you just roll back and forth. And when you find the tight spots, you stay on it where it gets really tender. So you're looking for those spots that are tender. A very important note. Do not make the pain face. Oh, it's gonna be uncomfortable. If you make that pain face, it sends signals to your muscles to stay tight. So in order to release them as effectively as possible, keep a calm face, breathe through it. And honestly, the pain or discomfort should be like a 6 or 7 out of 10. And the better you get at this, the more comfortable you are with it, the farther you can push it and stay calm, and the better it'll be, and the more time you can spend on those really sensitive spots. Start like this, and then go a little more sideways. Yeah, and so a lot of these muscles here are thin and on top of bone, so you'll feel like you're pushing on the bone as well too, but you're getting the muscle as well. So you gotta find the sweet spot on it, because a lot of it will be missing the right muscles, and then you gotta get right in that spot. Yeah, see, like it's just, and once you hit the spot, you just stay on it, and you just work it where it's tender, and then do that before you do the stretches. And then obviously do it on both sides. Okay, that's the easier one. A little more targeted, takes a little bit more skill, and it's a lot more uncomfortable is this. So this is a double, this is a little easier. You can get singles, that's just one ball, which I actually recommend are better. I just actually honestly couldn't find it. I normally don't use this one, I use the single. Because this one rolls in 2 directions, like this, right? The circle, just one ball rolls in all directions. So it's easier to find that spot, and there's more pressure because it's 1 point rather than 2. So anyways, it's the exact same. You gotta kind of do like a little bit of a crab walk, get onto it, and then you just roll around. I find it's harder to find the spot with this one because it rolls in only 2 directions, right? So that's what I would meant by that. But yeah, that's it right there. Oh my God. It's still like, no matter how much I do this, it's always the same spots. So you really, really gotta, so a big factor in this is consistency and time. There's no way around that. So now, getting into the stretches. So I'll show you this stretch, and then I'll show you an easier one, but this is the best one. So start with this one, and if it's painful, you can go to the easy one. But so watch this one first. So you stack the legs like this on top of each other. So they're like square to my chest. And then what you wanna do, so most of you actually, your knee will be up like this. So the stretch will be to push it down. I just shared this stretch on Instagram, and I had some of the most response from people in my personal life, friends, team members, family, that messaged me like, I tried that stretch and I couldn't do it. My leg was like this. And I know that that's most people because this is the stretch I give to people in my Waterman group, and everyone struggles with it. So don't beat yourself up if you're up like this. The cool thing, if you find a place in your body where you are insanely tight, like you can barely move, that's great because it's like finding a gold mine. You still gotta mine the gold, but you know exactly where it is. So if you are tight like this stretch will probably give you some of the best performance and health and longevity effects you've ever had. So that's the goal. So anyways, knee comes down, and as you get better and better, you wanna come down like this. Head all the way down. Reach out as far as you can. And then once you get good at that, you add a twist. And it's best to do it in a pulsing motion before, like in the morning as a warm up, before exercise, before surfing. Long hold stretches are dangerous to do before exercise. So pulsing ones are what you want to do. So pulsing and gentle. And then keep your spine up like this. So it's not leaning forward, it's up. And then you go to the sides. And I like to try and get my elbow to touch and then reach and get the really big stretch. And then the other side, elbow down, reach. Elbow down, reach. Breathe through it, be gentle. I heard another great analogy is you should treat a tight muscle like a crying baby. You don't beat it up, you don't shake it. You gotta be really tender and gentle, and that's the way you do it. So again, time and consistency is how you make it happen. And another big one, if you are someone who sits a lot, sitting really affects the psoas muscles. It's a very hard thing to release. This tool is an absolute lifesaver. It's called a Psorite, spelled P-S-O-R-I-T-E. And I have this, and the only thing I use it for is to release the psoas muscle. And for me, it's only one side. I think it's because of all the driving that I was doing, because that's my pedal foot, but I don't know for sure. But for me, it's only this side. So what you do with this thing is you lay on it like this, and it digs right in there. It is super uncomfortable. It's really hard not to make the pain face, but it's the only way to hit that spot. It's so tender, and releasing it feels good. And now that I know what it feels like to have it released, if I'm walking or just doing anything, I notice when it's tight because it's pulling me forward. Because when it's tight, it's like pulling me down, like crunching me in. So if I release it, it's like my whole body suddenly becomes released, and it's such a great feeling. So I recommend you have one of these if you do a lot of sitting. It's so valuable and it'll last you forever. All right, that's kind of it for those stretches. And again, time and consistency. Even for a guy like me who done all that damage over years, I was able to reverse it with these things, doing them every single day for a sustained amount of time. And so for you, if you find yourself in that position every single day, these cannons should be done every single day. You can literally turn back the clock and start to feel younger and younger when you start releasing your body. It's an incredible feeling, honestly. And once you learn these things, it costs you nothing to do it every single day, and it will give you more vitality, more performance. It'll improve your mood because your body's gonna feel better. So adding on to this stuff, that's a really targeted spot, right? But the whole body is a system. So one of the big things we teach in our Watermelon Elite program is posture correction. So it's things like forward head, forward shoulder, even the tilt of your pelvis, like how your tailbone's tucked in or not, puts pressure on all those things. So you got to kind of deal with the whole body. So the targeted stuff is great for relief in the beginning, but again, to prevent those long-term effects, you really got to do a whole body thing. Correct your posture from the top of your head all the way to the tip of your tailbone. And then adding strength. So mobility, if you just create mobility, create range of motion, you'll just be kind of floppy, right? You need the muscles to support it, right? So you got to create mobility, you got to create strength within that range of motion as well too. So a strength training routine, which I call surfing movement patterns. So if these hips things were holding back your pop up or anything to do with surfing, doing these surfing movement pattern things, releasing the body, adding the muscles, it's going to make them a complete non-issue, so you can surf for your entire life and not ever have to worry about these fitness things or that having to quit surfing because your body was just breaking down. So that's all I got for this video. If you like this kind of stuff, you'll love the Watermelon Elite program. It's built for people just like you who have those struggles with fitness and you want to get them out of your life for good. That's all we do is surf fitness. It's all about the fundamentals. It's all super simple. It's all done at home, exactly like this stuff I just showed you. And you can start all immediately as soon as you join. So if you're into that, click the link in the description. There's a video explaining our whole process and how you can get involved. My name is Kyle Ross. This is Hydro Mind. Thanks a lot for watching.